When I got to listening, I always listen to the stuff I play. And you know what happened? My hand went from the Luger to the stuff crafted by a skilled Kentuckian. I had a little drink and decided to let the brain-blowing wait a while. Measure out my life in 10,000 shot glasses of the rare and old, particularly on a night like this. It's not a fit night for man or beast, as Bill Fields used to say when the cornflakes were flung in his face. Back there on cracked earth, it may be snowing, the wind howling for nobody. But here it's cozy and warm, if lonely, and old granddad comforts me. While he is my rod and my staff, I don't need that other rod. Who needs the product of German engineering when he's got the product of Kentucky colonels to tide him over to another day when things, if they can't be better, may not be worse? I ask you this in humble awe, saved by the dram as I am, and ready for another. Is it not better to have drunk deep of the cup, whatever its consequences, than to have ended it with a bare bodkin, read Luger, and never to be drunk or sober or anything again? I ask you this, and let you ponder the thrilling question while I play a selection from the Grateful Dead and go get a refill. Marty, our subject is feeling sorry for himself. He has the best of reasons, of course. But help is on the horizon. If he but knew, things are about to change. I speak from hindsight, having edited the tape. What happens next is history, as they say. Every school child remembers the way it was, the series of messages. September 4th, 2012, reading A Man Spekith by Richard Wilson. 4. From the log of the Starcraft Surveyor, as edited for Archives. Sighted craft of satellite class apparently inhabited. Attempts at communication are detailed elsewhere. No response. Markings indicate it is of Earth origin, not a watcher craft from Kogami. It is possible the crew are dead. We are trying to raise them with recorded signals in the major tongues of Earth. Still no response to our signals. But there has been an emission in English, possibly recorded. It seems to have been in two parts, the first voice human, the second mechanical. Having failed to communicate with the former, we are triggering for the latter. If their human being cannot or will not talk to us, it may be that their machine will talk to our machine. The Earth satellite's machine has replied. It seems to have a name and to transmit in a colloquial way which taxes the capacity of our machine and tries the patience of our translators. Its first words were, "Are you listening?" A historic radio voice spoke thus. "Please be patient with us. There are problems here, but they're not insoluble. The next voice you hear may discourage you, but hang on. There's a non-violent way out, probably. This is Marty, signing off for now." The male human voice then transmitted, in his first words addressed directly to us. "I'll blow you to hell and gone if you don't keep the hell away from me." He sounded frightened. After a long pause, he was less panicky. It was as if he'd rehearsed and was speaking for maximum effect on us and him. "I know what you're up to," he said, "and I want no part of it. You're out to cover yourself with glory by reuniting a poor hermit with the rest of humanity. Well, I don't choose to go. If I can't go home again to Earth and all it meant to me, I won't accept a substitute land. I'd rather recreate the Earth I knew here in my mind and talk about it, endlessly if I must. I'd rather keep it alive and undistorted in my own peculiar way than to compromise with the relics of mankind that you've assembled on a second-best world. And if you think I'm a hypocrite to talk so rationally now and then on the air to pretend I'm the last man alone in the universe, it's because you don't understand the artist in me. I've got a platform from which to survey the fate of mankind. Believe me, it's more artistic to do it from up here than to try it from your earnest land, where everybody drives a tractor or mans the irrigation works. Is that what you want me for? To be another poor soul in the great collective effort? No thanks. This is my place up here. I may not do any good, but what I'm doing, I do in my own way. So leave me alone. Scram. I don't know you and you don't know me, so what do you say we leave it that way? I was never cut out for work in a kibbutz. I'd rather kibitz than kibbutz. And you have to admit I haven't run out of things to say. Thanks for pulling away. I really would have used the bombs, and you need every man you can get. But you don't need me. I need me. The machine, Marty spoke again after this outburst. You see why I'm asked for patience? My human friend has a delusion that he's been contacted by Earth people who've set up a colony on another planet. He's quick to adapt. What he's apparently adapted to is an ego-hurting belief that he's not Earth's only survivor. He'd be diminished, achingly lonely though he is, if others were to share his survivorship. He feels that he's not much, but that he's unique, and he won't let this be taken away. You could not blame him if you knew him as I do. If you can put up with him a little longer, we may begin to see daylight. We have now audited, transcribed, and partially translated the stored-up oral log of the mechanical being, Marty, and we conclude that Marty is more intelligent by far than its multi-named co-occupant of the capsule. Our mission is clear. We must rescue or capture the satellite. Given the choice, we prefer the former. But if there is resistance from the self-styled esoteric Ed, also known as Harry Protagonist, space disc jockey, we know our course. We will work through Marty, the sophisticated machine from which our machine is already learning, and see if a way can be found to nullify the satellite's destruct circuit. An additional complication has arisen. Our machine, our only link with Marty and Ed, is making demands on us. It wants a name, like its alien cousin. It wants to be called Deary, which is what Marty has been calling it, probably in jest. Compared to Marty, our machine is a simple, ingenious device. It would expedite our mission to humor it and not let it suspect that Marty is presumably toying, without malice, with what Deary has been led to believe are its emotions. Deary it is, then. Deary she is. Marty has led it, her, to think she may be female. And if we're to use her to the optimum, we'll have to go along with them. Deary is learning fast. Marty is a good teacher. But Marty seems to know the point beyond which it would be unwise to educate Deary if he is to remain supreme among machines when we return to our land.